call the street
Just
committee,
say it.
committee meeting to order. I need a motion to approve the November 9th meeting,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
and we have nothing under old business. New business is, Mayor Page has been asked by the Naughty Pine about possibly pouring concrete and moving the patio furniture. It is suggested possibly having an engineer look at it. I think that's still just,
I actually had Matt Foster, when he was down here for MFT, had him look at that, and sidewalk and stuff we'll get to later, but, that's a huge undertaking. It's not just a ramp up. He said you'd have to go, basically, with all the percentages of slope and stuff, you'd have to go from the east to the west, and from the west back down to the east, and then a ramp, but the ramp's gotta come up, and you gotta have so much turning area, and he's not even sure if you've got enough from the building to the curb.
to do
It
it.
could actually come out and take parking places right in front. You'd have to come on out with it.
From east to west,
Yeah,
take up the
yeah.
parking places, yeah.
Yeah, east to west, and then you gotta be so wide, and then you gotta be out so far, because you gotta be so wide that the curb would come out, and then the parking in front of Naughty Pine would be taken up also then. You'd have to remove the parking to go out that far. He said, now, if you wanna go ahead and think about it, then that's it, but he said, just looking at it like that would be. And then,
not easy.
I'll tell you later on what some of this other is, and then I'll help you think about it.
Okay.
And that
And-
would, I'm sorry, would that have to come out of, that can't come out of MFT or anything, that would have to come out of either TIF or?
You could use MFT, but then you get to use MFT, you got IDOT specs, stuff like that, which goes way on up to a high grade engineering type thing. It's different when you go MFT mode.
Okay, and then the concession stand hasn't been started yet, which is probably just because of the,
It's done, so.
it's done, okay. And then turn it over to Darren, or
I don't have anything
Darren,
there.
I mean, Derek, do you have anything?
No,
Okay.
I mean, unless you,
Yeah.
And then I'll turn it over to Darren.
Okay, yep, going back to having Matt Foster here, well, anyway, first the sidewalks. I've got in mind for sidewalks this year, for just out of the general fund itself, I'm looking at, down there in front of, Riley Waza Hair, down there. There's two of them, the front ones out by the curb that are collapsed down. I mean, there's like a 2-inch gap down there. So I thought about doing in front of that business and then doing an ADA down at the laundromat corner. It's actually a curb there, there's no ramp at all there. You gotta go around into the parking lot, come back over to the sidewalk to get on it. So that's the two areas that I'm gonna look at for the regular sidewalk program this year. And then with having Matt come down, we got the MFT stuff going, but I had him look at talking about doing the sidewalk from the middle school to Casey's, and then you would get to Old 51, and then you would cross, and then had him also look at, it would be from basically Illinois Street to Dollar General, like a golf cart, bicycle walking path to keep basically the golf carts and people that walk to Dollar General off the highway, where it's 35 or 50 coming in there, even in a golf cart. So that would move over in the easement, we would put like a road down through there, basically, 10-foot wide,
On both parts or just the?
just on that side.
On that
Now, the
side.
sidewalk would be just a regular sidewalk going to Casey's.
To be
but-
north side or south side?
Well,
'Cause there's that ditch on
on the city side,
city
yeah.
side, that's pretty,
It's a big ditch, but I guess here's the whole thing. His preliminary thoughts on engineering, to engineer just the sidewalk down and stuff, is $28,000.
just the engineering,
Yeah, that's just the engineering, not counting the concrete itself, so, like,
just to put a sidewalk.
that's what, so, anyway, if you guys don't mind, I might look at a different engineering firm, and try to get some other stuff other than just keep on the chassis.
try Mark himself. He's going out on his own. I mean,
I heard that, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know if there's a non-compete with that, with them leaving, where you can't pick up.
we have a meeting on Monday. I
So
don't,
you can find that out.
I
If
can
not,
find that out.
We'll
I'll let
find
you
out.
know. Yeah.
I figured there's probably non-compete where he can't, for a certain 2 years or something, he couldn't service his customers or something. But anyway, so running down that way, and then, So that's 28 just for the engineering, so I don't know about that. We'll have to see, how that goes. But the problem with that side of the street, if we go on the north side of the street, if you pull up the Christian County maps and you look at the property lines, Cold Grove runs crooked.
Really?
Yeah, so if you go down Cold Grove, you will get to the corner, the entrance to the school there. That road is 3 foot from the property line of Mr. Palmer.
Is that the house with the,
Yeah. With the evergreen
stuff,
Yeah.
the evergreen stuff?
So if you were to put a sidewalk in, we're gonna have to get an easement. So that puts you back to this side of the road. Maybe you go down and then you cross by the street shed or something, and then you go on down. I don't know. So now, this is all, I just got this a couple hours ago from Matt. He, just got it to me. So now, if you guys can think of anything different, anything better, we'll talk about it at the next meeting. It's no big hurry on this one here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that maybe we, you know,
Okay, so I wanna get a better understanding. If we went on the side of the school, is that starting at the corner, the east, or the west corner of the school, and then run clear down to, how does it, would it work in front of the water plant?
well, I don't know if we could go all the way down to the water plant. We might
Stop
just
there.
go to the street shed and cross, and
And cross
then go
there.
down on
Now-
on the north side.
Is that coming into Casey's lot though? Or
Yeah,
is
that's
that-
where you come across Casey's, there's some drainage there where they've got the water that comes
Uh-huh.
around. We would have to put some culverts in, fill that in, and then you would hit that, there's a curb there. Well, that curb would have to be cut out, and then you'd have to come back ADA on all that too. So that's some of the concern there.
What's on the backside of the city shed and the water tower and that,
That is
Jeff Burton's,
Burton right up to us.
yeah.
right up to it?
Yeah.
What's,
Yeah, right.
is it just, cause I've never been back there or paid attention to it. Like, if you did something from the school behind the city shed and down that way, is there just grass there or what? Like, if we bought
Between
some of
us
that
is,
off,
right there behind the shed, it's rock and a little bit of storage, and then it goes into Chuck's. There's a drainage thing he's got there that's got some, rock there, cause his water comes in, a filter system basically.
Okay.
And then it's his paved all the way out. But the main idea of that sidewalk is to get the kids off that road when school's out, like now.
Yeah.
You know, if there's practice after school or something, they all walk over to Casey's or Subway and stuff, and the buses and the kids and all the cars just isn't a good mix.
I am surprised at the people that walk to Dollar General.
Yes.
oh,
I
there's
am
people
really
through there all the
surprised.
time, yeah.
Now on
I
that,
am really surprised
Yeah.
at that.
now see on that, I talked to Derek about it too, is to get, you know, do something where a golf cart or whatever could go down there and you could walk or ride a bike and all that. Now, if
Right.
we have to do it in steps, the first step may be, because you'll have to do it anyway, would be to, and, we could do that, is just to put a rock path out there. Use CA6 and make it 10 foot wide, because that would build your base to put the asphalt on it later anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, first step might be to do that, as quick as we can, because I don't know, Matt hasn't got back like what it would cost for the asphalt on that yet.
Yeah.
But anyway, just
You're
try to
right.
get some of that foot traffic off of the school, the kids,
Right,
because
yes,
their
yeah.
minds aren't much on,
On
they got
safety.
school, it's free. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna get something to eat and all that.
Yeah.
And then people, there's a lot of traffic goes to Dollar General, and to get them out there.
Foot traffic.
Yeah, and if
And-
there's, going to Dollar General, if there's TIF money, that would help, if we do that.
Yeah.
So are we doing some street repaving this year for the water projects and some other stuff?
We are, the MFT I gave you there,
Okay.
that is,
Is that what that is?
yep, that will be what we're gonna do this year as far as the amount of oil and rock. And then it's got the rest of it on there. We do some signs, we get our patch mix from there, our snow removal, which is our salt, and then the milling if we smooth up some of the stuff too. So
Cause I was wondering if we're gonna lay any like true, asphalt down
yeah.
while they're in town doing that.
Mhm.
If we have the rock base, just be like, hey, while you're here,
I'd have to find out, because I think they are taking College Street from First to Second. I think they're digging that whole part out. I'd have to get with Jack. If not, I think they may be doing it to the next to La Rochelle. I'm not for sure. But, I've got some of the streets picked up for this oil and chip program, but it's kind of a moving deal. Some of them are good on this side of town but I don't wanna do anything where they're gonna be coming back and with the project. Phase two's still gonna have a bunch of trucks coming through town, pulling sand in and hauling dirt out and delivering stuff.
You usually don't oil and rock the same road back-to-back years, do you?
Unless you're trying to build one up, yeah. No,
Okay.
this year, the quick rundown is on the other side of the highway, around that, the little Elder and all those on that, the 3 roads over there. Just behind the Pana Bank, where they paved, but they stopped too early, they should've went on down, so there's like a 200-foot strip right there to get that put back together, cause where they pull out, it really twists it.
Yeah.
And that could be one where, well, we did it last year, but we're gonna hit it again, and we may put 2 layers on it too, to build it up, cause takes a lot of traffic. The other would be Poplar Street, the intersection by the baseball field there, where they did that.
Yeah.
I mean, what they did is if they dug a hole, they paved over it. Now, the excavator sat here and dug here. The excavator tore up the road here, and they tore it up here. They didn't go as far as they should. I asked Ron to do that, but we just didn't get it done. I don't know, something in the project, he said couldn't do it. And that's the same with Locust on over in front of Moore Brothers. That excavator tore that up, twisting and turning there. And then the other is West Illinois Street, down through there. That one takes a lot of semi-traffic, and it's probably gonna take more before long, so. But we may switch off Illinois Street too, if they're gonna do a lot of digging and tearing up down there, coming off of that. Even just going north out of that, we may just wait and move our roads back over here and stuff. I mean, the oil is up, it's almost 3 times what it used to be 5 years ago, so we're not getting near as much done now.
I was just talking about, I know the road leading from Old 51 down to the grain elevator,
Mhm.
where we chipped and rocked out.
Yep.
Do that one early or something not as close to fall? My gosh.
Yeah.
That,
Yep.
I got more phone calls.
That was the blade mix on that.
Yeah.
The blade mix did what it's supposed to, and it's one that needs probably hit again. If we come off Illinois Street, we'll probably do that one again and build it to where it is. But the blade mix, what the purpose of that was, is to put structure under the road.
Okay.
You know, they're coming in, minimum 80 coming in the fall. So that road wasn't built for that. So the blade mix basically leveled the road up and put, it's a larger rock, built structure, base to it is what it is. It wasn't gonna super smooth it up right off the bat. You have to seal coat it again to get it smoothed up.
Yeah, cause there's tremendous, man, those trucks come through there.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So this year would just be more oil.
Yeah, this is
more
just,
rock.
this is just oil and rock, yeah, not
So
the
it
blade
might
mix.
actually, if we do it early enough in the year, it might actually
Yeah,
keep that dust sealed.
yeah. We did it and then there was no rain.
The rain,
There's
yeah.
no rain. It just,
And then
yeah,
those
straight
trucks,
line
and
was
then they
just-
started harvest like,
Yep.
like days
Days
later.
later.
And then
Yeah.
some of this is over here, some of the dust is coming from, the elevator's got that millings over here that they've been using.
Yeah,
Everybody likes that millings, but you gotta remember what millings are that you get from the state. They take the stuff that's in the center of the road and they take it back and recycle it. The millings that they give away are the shoulder and the second ground. So, that's got a lot of
I
dirt
did
in it.
not know that, yeah.
Now,
that makes
on the other
sense.
hand, asphalt is made from rock, sand, and the asphalt. The sand is what you're seeing out here, cause it's breaking off the
Mhm.
rocks, it's tracking out. So the more it grinds, the more the sand comes loose and tracks out, and they're tracking it all the way down, and it's just causing a lot of dust too, so.
yeah.
Millings are free, they're a good idea, but in certain spots they're not, and that is probably not one of them.
I wish I mean, you could almost look at kind of what Decatur did, where if maybe keep the trucks off that street, have them come down Leafland and turn in the short way, but then that's just gonna.
You know, they talk truck route.
Yeah, we fought it with that truck route, yeah.
That's
Yeah, they don't like them going that way, they don't like them
Yeah,
going that
yeah.
way, they don't like them coming over here.
Uh-huh.
No.
The trucks don't like coming in over here, cause coming off Leafland's such a high, right there at the end, incline at the end of Walnut, but some of them actually drag, I mean, that's been going on. The only thing would be is if they brought them in on the elevator side at their entrance down here and brought them through their lot and back out or something, but, anyway,
Do
So,
you-
yeah,
Do we always use a ton every year on the snow removal? Is that about, or is that
the
average?
ton, that's the tonnage price.
Right, but do we, so
we-
we have to get
this-
it by the ton?
Yeah, we get it by
Okay.
the semi
So
load.
do we usually use a ton?
We usually use this, we just got a load in, and with this winter, it'll be if we need any or not. Depends on how it finishes out. So this line item may not apply,
That's
but
what
we
I,
budget for it because we may need a load
right, that's what I
in
wondered.
January next year.
So then,
Because right now, we're sitting pretty good on salt.
right, and so we just keep that if we wouldn't have,
Right, it sets in the shed,
and
yeah.
for next year?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so there's a possibility of savings there
Yeah,
if we don't have a bad March.
right. Yeah, bad March or next year doesn't start out too much.
Okay,
But we'll start using more since we took over
Yeah.
Old 51, because the state used to do that, and now we solved
We have
that,
to.
and that uses quite a bit, really. I mean, there's more there than,
and, yeah, it could, and this is updated, I mean, costs more than last year already. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, the signs are the same, the patch mix went up about $10 a ton, and then culverts that's just as needed on projects and stuff, but culverts are almost twice the price of what they used to be. And then, salt went up $35 a ton, something like that, and they don't know what it's gonna be at now. Part of what we run into is our delivery truck, the salt shed's built, the truck that brings it in now is a walking floor. It looks like a regular hopper bottom, but they back in and there's a conveyor in there that pushes it out, because the salt shed's built where they can't back in and dump. So you have to have a special delivery truck, or you dump it on the ground somewhere and scoop it in.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we pay a little bit because of that truck and that. And the millings, we'll see, we've got a few that we could, still smooth up in spots, from where they've been at and stuff, so yeah. And then oil, you know, it's a guess, I've been told, you know, possibly 350. So we went 375, and I've heard 5 1/4 too, so when it comes time, you don't know what's gonna happen in 30 days,
Yeah.
so.
yeah,
At some point, it may get to where we just can't do
Just stretch
chip
it
and
off,
rock.
yeah, just every other year, pick your main roads. I mean, you look at your traffic counts and stuff, your traffic counts, you know, Second Street is the most traveled, then you go to Samuel, then you go to First. As far as cars coming up and down that way, and the rest are all smaller, but your main roads coming in are those. This one here, of course, you know, it's the semi-traffic, but it doesn't have as much car traffic. So, yeah, it'll get to, just like everything else, I mean, you'll just have to figure out what and how to do it when it gets there. You know, and like rock, the other is the rock, you know, we use, chips, C16 chips. We use that slag at one time, but it's more money, but there's no dust in that slag. It doesn't create the lime dust.
Yeah.
It's, that harder rock doesn't create dust, it's actually slag byproduct, but it's more money. So you could go back to that, it would be $11 a ton more,
How many tons
something
we
like that.
use?
I think it says, what's down here,
for the,
200 ton,
Yeah.
be probably $3,000 difference in a year. It builds a better road, the black does too, county uses it,
Does it?
yeah, it's a little more durable.
So it may cost you a little extra in the short run, but you get a longer life out of it, so you don't have to redo
Yeah,
it. as
the
quick.
dust may not be as heavy, and it actually does, it's because it's black, the snow melts faster on it too, stuff like that. There is a lot to it. And Cliff, the county, Cliff Fry, he'll tell you it's more durable. So, and there's a finite math, you can figure it out, it isn't as heavy as rock, so it goes a little further, so.
Might be
There's,
well spent.
I penciled it out, but it's pretty thin, I mean, it's, you know,
Yeah.
the $11 is that. So, yeah, we can switch, I haven't got the rock coming in yet. So think about it, we can, just give me a call, think about it a couple days, if you guys wanna do
Yeah.
that, we'll switch around, and, it's Beelman out of St. Louis brings it in. They're the only guys that can haul it, and then they'll just start bringing it in. So yeah, think about it and see.
Well, what do you think?
Yeah.
We don't know roads.
I mean, the chips are less money, but you do get the lime dust. It's a little bit smoother. I mean, the slag is almost like a 5/8 clean rock. It's a little bigger rock. It's a little more durable. It doesn't wear down as much. It does have, for the first couple weeks, kind of a sulfury smell to it or something, till it gets rained on a little bit, washes off.
Same amount of oil with it?
Yeah,
Both?
same amount of oil. Yeah, it'll glue down 3/10. So yeah, think about it and see.
I wonder what the,
I mean, at the end of it, $3,000, $4,000 isn't gonna be a huge difference in the
Yeah, something has to
application.
go up.
yeah,
Boy, that savings.
well, cause you get less, I wonder how much longer does it, I mean, and do they have any ballpark, like the life difference between the two?
I don't think there's any study like that.
It
It's
probably
just
determines
more
the
durable.
traffic it's on,
Yeah,
will
it's not
determine
traffic,
how,
that's right.
Probably in the weather too, but I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, think about it a little bit and see, just, a week or so, we'll get that over brought in or something.
Either version affected by snowplows, different, same,
Same
wouldn't be
thing,
any
everything else
difference.
slide right on it. Yep.
Might be worth it just for the, just to, like
Yeah.
phone calls from the dust.
Well, we put,
Yeah.
it goes the other way, we put the black down, and people didn't like the black rock either, they like white roads. So it's back and forth, there was a no wind, there never is, but,
Yeah, they're never.
yeah. So anyway, but yeah, just let me know if you wanna go either way is fine. You know, Cliff uses it on his county roads, which is a more highly traveled road, says it's more durable, so, you know, if it's more durable in town, so be it, but yeah.
There is
If
a
we
lot
go-
of,
Yeah, if we go under 4,000, if you wanna save it, then we can still put chips down and it's a savings, but you're gonna have some dust.
well, there is some truth to the black will
Oh, yeah,
melt
it's-
quicker,
yeah.
it'll heat up faster.
Yeah, we've got some of them that are still the black road and they will melt way before the others. So on MFT, so if you look at those numbers and stuff, that's all pretty good there. Matt suggested just passing a resolution at the council
Okay.
for 45,000 is what he said, in case some of these prices get out
Okay.
of control, then he's got a little bit more for it. And then the sidewalk, part of the sidewalk too, I had planned on paying for that sidewalk on Cold Road down there with the COVID money.
Okay.
Just the sidewalk, the
Mhm.
sidewalk itself.
Yeah.
So I was gonna use that, was it 34?
So you got
217?
18, yeah, 18, and then the next fiscal you have another 18.
18,
So
so it's 36 then,
Yeah.
I'm saying it's 17.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna use that money towards that sidewalk,
And that would
if
be
everybody's good.
just
But you
that
gotta think about the engineering on it, I'm gonna see if I
backside.
can find some.
the 28,000.
I guess really the first thing would be is talk to Mr. Palmer and see if he's, cause the trees are there, I don't know how far, if the trees would be in the way, you gotta come down and all that. I mean, this is all pretty new in the last couple hours, like I said, I'd have to really look at it now and see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
see
don't
if
know
it
if
would
he'd
be
be-
worth, it may
Yeah.
be worth coming down closer to the
Yeah.
garage, even though that's a big ditch. The ditch can be accounted for. I mean, they
Yeah,
can
we
put
can culvert and
culvert
cross it
in.
and all that, yeah.
What about the sidewalks? What would those come out of the?
That's still out of general too, I have a budget line of 10,000 on that every year, and we've been trying to do in front of the businesses downtown. And get them squared away a little bit better.
Laundromat definitely makes sense. I never even
Yeah, I never
noticed.
thought of it, but you're right. Sometimes I'll park there before I go to DJ's, and you're right.
Yeah,
It's not.
this curve right there.
Uh-huh.
There's several of those we're looking at as far as we can go. Some of them get over to where they're gonna have to be engineered, and that's gonna be, just like I said, the engineering is gonna
Yeah.
be tough to
Yeah.
do some of these, coming up, so.
Laundromat makes sense though.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah, it's with laundromat, the restaurant, people walk down Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
definitely.
Okay,
So,
well,
sidewalk, so yeah, on the school case, well, I'll try to work on more of that and see, so yeah,
Okay.
got all that. The rock, let me know on the rock, and then, yeah, I think MFT's closing out. I think Angel got the information to Matt. close out last year's, so get that closed out, and then you can't open the new till you get the old
Oh,
closed.
closed out, yeah.
So, yeah, that should go
I
pretty
just
smooth,
emailed
too.
it tonight to me.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about, I mean, it makes sense to talk about it while we're all here, about the rock, what do you think?
I say like the county does,
Yeah.
whatever your address.
I like, I mean, I'm fine
Kinda
with it.
think that's, what do you think?
Is that the black?
Yeah, the black stuff, yeah. I mean, I realize it has that sulfur smell for a while, I mean, you'll hear about that too, but yeah.
Yeah, but they'll, we'll deal with that. Oh, whenever they call and complain about the sulfur smell, we just be like, well, you know what, this is what we had to do to get rid of the dust that you complained about.
Complain
last
about,
year."
yeah.
Yeah,
So you always, that's how you present it, you just say,
Well,
what do we
if
got?
somebody's out walking in the summer and we have that down, the dust, you have to breathe that dust when you're out walking too.
Mhm.
So, I know it's bad for your windows and your house, you get it on the house, but
yeah,
to
it was,
me, it's better to have the better stuff that's, the
Yeah.
smell will go away.
Yeah.
The dust
Well,
is
anytime
not.
you
Yeah.
put down, anytime you do any, like a driveway or anything, it smells for
Well, yeah.
10 days,
Uh-huh.
and it
Yeah.
cures.
and the oil itself has a
So,
smell.
let's just decide that, we'll just go that route. So what you want, Candy?
Yeah, I'm
I
good with
think
You
the,
good, you wanna go with the
Just
slide?
I'm in agreement with
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
We'll
Okay.
drag it on.
I think in no sense, since we're all here, might as well just make a
Yeah.
decision while we're all here at once.
Yeah. The other is I've got a guy coming in, it's St. Clair out of Decatur. They've got one of those, street sweeping machines,
Hmm.
and have him hit all the gutters. But I'm gonna have him price it first. He's supposed to come down, he's gonna look at them, and then he'll give me a price, then we'll talk about it later.
That sounds perfect.
But, that'll get rid of some of the, like on, First Street and Hickory and some of these others, where the project went through and
Yeah,
stuff, and there's
yeah.
a lot of stuff left in the
Stuff left
gutters.
over, yeah.
Is to get those swept out.
Mhm.
And that, we'll see what it costs, if it's much money, we won't.
We didn't want you to
we won't
bother,
talk about it
okay.
again, but, anyway,
Yeah.
I know it was done probably 10 years ago. The guy that did it back then isn't, his company's not around, he, passed away, so I found this other company.
So it'd be Hickory and where else?
Well, you would go, any of those curbs, you'd have Locust,
First
over
Street.
here, you have Locust,
Right.
you'd have Walnut from, Second all the way down.
Right,
Then you go down and you'd have,
oh,
Hickory,
Hickory,
Walnut, you take First Street all the way down to, La Rochelle,
wow,
Yeah.
okay.
and then you'd have Chestnut also. And then you'd have
Oh,
this
yeah.
little section out here, and swept up, so yeah.
Well, we'll get a quote on that,
Yeah,
see.
just see, see what it is on it. I mean, they'll have transportation in the machine itself, but I think they can raise and dump in our truck. So we've got the ability to haul
Ability
it
to haul
off
it,
and all
yeah.
that, so. Yeah,
Thank you, Darren, for presenting everything to us, but,
okay, good, hopefully it's clear.
and for.
And I thanked everybody, you guys, for clearing out the snow. You guys were out bright and early.
Oh,
I was laying in bed and I was like, well, I hear Darren going by.
it's a good crew, those guys help out.
Yeah.
Jack and Dana do a good job, yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, all the trucks were out, they were out there, there was 2 different sets of the county, you guys, I don't know if the state was out there by us as well.
A lot of times, you know, there's a couple of state guys that come in and get coffee, and they're probably staying when they come in, which is nice. Yeah. There's no sense in running with it in the air.
That's
That's
right.
what they'll tell you.
Till they get to my driveway. And I get about a half mile's worth of snow.
You know, they must have, you can just kind of tell where the line stops when you're traveling, of who's responsible for that
You're right.
road.
You're right.
That morning, it was 51 from Topena, the 4 lanes. I even got over in the bumper part. I couldn't even feel it. It had not been plowed. It was terrible. And then all of a sudden, I got off of the 4 lanes, and from where the 4 lanes end going south, clear up to the rosebud, it was clear as could be.
Yeah.
So I wondered who was responsible for that part. It's like, oh, we're not gonna get that.
Yeah, the different district.
Driving from Assumption to Decatur, I think there's 4 or 5 different jurisdictions that
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
every
yeah.
one of them's different.
Yeah, there's a big
Yes.
difference right there, Flat Branch, this side of Wakewood.
Yeah,
Not beating either one up, but it's piled different than it is down here.
yeah.
You can tell a big difference where you go to Decatur Bunch, yeah.
When you hit Macon County line,
Yeah, that's
Shelby
another one.
line,
Yeah.
and Macon line,
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
sometimes you're
nice.
like,
Go Betty
it's
Road's
like
got
they,
one there too. Yeah.
they made a line and said, here's ours. It's like when you have 2 yards next to each other.
One mows and one doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah. That is exactly how it was to the roads, but I'm like,
It's-
you know, I can speed up to 50.
I've hit spots like that many times.
Yeah. Okay, well, if there isn't anything else then, thank you again, Darren.
You're welcome.
All right, we adjourn.
Alright, thank you.